Texas offers some of the most diverse waterfowl habitat in the United States. From the Playa Lakes to the flooded bottomlands of East Texas to the rice country of the Gulf Coast to the Laguna Madre, if you're a waterfowl hunter, Texas is a very special place. Texas winters over 90% of the central flyway population of ducks and over 75% of the central flyway population of snow geese. With that comes an awesome responsibility to ensure that the habitat they depend on is conserved and protected. Unfortunately, waterfowling traditions in Texas are in jeopardy. This is due to the continued loss and degradation of waterfowl habitat on our wintering areas and in the breeding grounds where the waterfowl migration originates.
Ducks Unlimited realizes the important role Texas plays in the overall health of North America's waterfowl populations. That's precisely why we developed the Texas Care program. Texas Care was developed to raise dollars that could be leveraged many times over to address the natural resource concerns of Texas without impacting our work on the breeding ground.
Without this critical habitat, waterfowl populations cannot sustain themselves, and we stand to lose a significant portion of our North American waterfowl population. Ducks Unlimited refuses to allow this to happen.
The key to good conservation in the 21st century is going to be done by partnership. Texas Parks and Wildlife and DU have a special relationship that is formed under Texas Care. This allows us to do more with the limited resources across the state of Texas to impact more wetland acres for wildlife.
I support Ducks Unlimited for their educational purposes with the hunters of today and their kids. The average age of the hunter today gets older every year, and also the education of the landowners and the habitat, not only here in Texas, but on the breeding grounds as well.
The prairies of the north-central United States and Canada, and specifically the area known as the Prairie Pothole region, are critical to Texas waterfowlers. The vast majority of ducks that winter in Texas originate in this duck factory. The overall health of this habitat is directly proportionate to the health of our waterfowl migration and harvest in Texas. The Prairie Pothole region is the lifeblood of North America's waterfowl populations, and it must be protected at all costs. Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited and our conservation partners have conserved, restored, or enhanced close to 6 million acres in the states and provinces that make up the Prairie Pothole region. This work has made a positive impact on the North American migration, but more is needed if we're to guarantee the future of waterfowling.
That was the spot, guys.
Since our inception, Ducks Unlimited's #1 conservation focus has been the Prairie Pothole region. DU scientists agree that there's no place on this continent where we can have a bigger impact on waterfowl populations than the prairies.
Silver Eagle Distributing supports DU because of the commitment that DU has to conservation and habitat programs throughout the United States.
Really, supporting Ducks Unlimited and other conservation organizations is an easy choice when you look at the industry down the road more than just what's going on today in business.
By becoming a Texas Care major donor, you can keep our conservation efforts alive, enabling the grassroots dollars to go directly to the breeding grounds.
It is through DU that hundreds of thousands of waterfowl hunters and conservationists give something back to the waterfowl resource. The funds raised through local DU events are the foundation of the organization's conservation work. These revenues are leveraged several times with private and public funds to perform our unprecedented habitat conservation work here in the Lone Star State.
If you're a waterfowl hunter, there's no better way to ensure the future of our sport than by joining your local DU committee. Our chapters offer their communities a variety of ways to support Ducks Unlimited, from dinners to youth events, from golf tournaments to crawfish bowls.
And there are so many organizations out there, but being away from my dad and my brother and not having people to go hunting with and share that with, that was one reason, because I wanted to have other friends that I could go and do the kinds of things that I like to do. And you know, if I want to continue hunting, then the whole DU's purpose, you know, you've got to create that land and get that land back.
Ducks Unlimited is absolutely crucial to the future of waterfowl and waterfowl hunting. The conservation ethic they have set up since 1937 has been something that has really never been repeated in the history of wildlife management around the world. It's something that's really truly amazing, conserving millions of acres of habitat. And if you think about it, there shouldn't be any ducks and geese, or at least not the numbers we have now because of all the concrete and asphalt we're pouring around the country and around North America. But because of Ducks Unlimited and the dedicated hunters that founded this organization continue to volunteer and help, we have healthy populations of waterfowl that should be thriving into the 21st century.
To know how many fathers, grandfathers, grandsons, sons that get to go out into the wilderness and enjoy time together, Ducks Unlimited is a very large part for that. 1937, people had the insight to know down the road, generations to come, that it was very important for us to continue to restore and create habitat.
If you're a current DU volunteer, thanks for everything that you do for the resource. You're helping preserve our hunting heritage and ensuring the resource for future generations. If you're not a DU volunteer, please consider this your invitation to join the most prestigious waterfowl habitat conservation organization in the world, Ducks Unlimited.